All right, so we're diving into The Path of the Young Millionaire.
Really interesting book.
I just finished it, and it's really got me thinking differently about money, success and all that.
Yeah.
Michael Woods, the author, he has some pretty thought-provoking ideas about building wealth.
He does. It's not the typical advice you hear
No, not at all.
out there.
Um, so, one of the first things that kind of jumped out at me was this idea of a financial matrix.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that?
Honestly, it sounds like something from, like a movie or something.
It does.
But I'm intrigued. What is that all about?
So Woods uses this term to describe the systems and the beliefs that keep most people kind of trapped in this cycle of, living paycheck to paycheck.
Okay.
It's like there's this invisible force out there that makes it so hard to break free, even if you're working really hard.
I see. I'm starting to see why you said that this book challenges conventional wisdom.
It does.
I mean, we've all heard that, work hard and you'll succeed.
Right.
But end of thing.
Yeah.
He seems to be saying there's a little more to it than that.
Yeah, there's definitely more to it. And he backs it up with some pretty startling statistics.
Okay.
Did you know that the top 1% of the world's wealthiest people own, almost half
Wow.
of the world's entire wealth?
It's
crazy.
Yeah, that's a huge disparity.
It is.
Makes you really think about, how the system is set up and whether it's
Right.
really designed for everyone to, succeed financially.
And that's why he emphasizes, understanding this financial matrix so you can start to see the world a little differently
Okay.
and make choices that help you break free from it.
So it's not just about learning how to, invest or budget or whatever, but it's also about shifting your mindset
Absolutely.
and understanding kind of the bigger picture.
Yeah. One of the key things that he talks about is reframing your relationship with money and time.
Okay.
So it's not about seeing money as the ultimate goal,
Right.
but rather as a tool to achieve your goals.
Okay, that's interesting. I can see how that shift in perspective can be really powerful.
Yeah. And even more, he argues that time is your most valuable asset. It's the one thing you can't get back.
Right.
And, we need to be very intentional about how we use it.
That makes total sense. I mean, we've all got the same 24 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
But it's how we use that time that really determines, our outcomes.
Absolutely. And there's this quote in the book that really resonated with me. He says, "You don't see the world as it is. You see it as you are."
Oh, wow.
It's deep, right?
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. It really made me think about how, our own self-awareness or our lack of it can shape our entire reality,
Yeah.
including our financial reality.
It sounds like he's encouraging readers to really kind of examine their beliefs and assumptions about money and success.
He is, and he argues that, a lot of us have these limiting beliefs that hold us back way more than, any external factors.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest myths that he tackles is this idea of getting rich quick.
Oh, yeah, those make $1 million overnight, schemes that you see
Exactly.
all over social media.
Everywhere. Woods emphasizes that sustainable wealth building, it takes time, it takes patience.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a long-term mindset. He even shares this anecdote about lottery winners
Oh, really?
that really stuck with me.
What about lottery winners?
Well, it turns out that a surprisingly large number of lottery winners, they end up bankrupt
Oh, wow.
within a few years.
Really?
They win millions of dollars,
Yeah.
but they haven't developed the financial literacy
Right.
or the mindset to manage that wealth responsibly.
I see.
And so they end up losing it all.
That's crazy. So it's not just about getting the money, it's about having the skills and the mindset to actually manage it wisely.
Exactly. And that's where Woods' 6-step process comes in.
Okay.
He lays out this clear, actionable plan
Mm-hmm.
that he believes can help anyone achieve financial liberation
Okay.
in 3 to 5 years. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Tell me more about these 6 steps. What's the first one?
The first step is to establish a stable income.
Okay.
And he's not talking about getting rich right away.
Yeah.
It's about creating that foundation
Right.
of financial security.
That makes sense. It's hard to build anything if you're constantly worried about making ends meet.
Exactly. And then he talks about identifying a side venture.
Okay.
Something that you can start alongside your current job
Mm-hmm.
to develop skills, generate some additional income, and, just gain valuable experience.
Wait, so is he saying that everybody needs to be an entrepreneur to achieve financial freedom?
Not necessarily. He actually addresses that later in the book.
Okay.
The side venture could be anything that aligns with your interests and has the potential for growth. So it could be a side hustle. It could be an online business. It could even be, a traditional job.
Okay.
in a field that you're really passionate about.
So it's more about exploring different options and finding something that allows you to kind of build your skills
Exactly.
and potentially create additional income streams.
Exactly. And he's very clear that this isn't about jumping from like one shiny object to the next.
Right.
It's about finding something you're genuinely interested in and then building it sustainably.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you start with stability and then you kind of explore a side venture.
Right.
What comes after that?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. And I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay.
But Woods talks about gradually transitioning
Okay.
to your venture full-time.
Ooh, that does sound intriguing. But it doesn't stop there, right? There are 3 more steps.
You got it.
Okay.
And each step builds upon the previous ones,
Yeah.
helping you create that solid foundation for financial independence and a life that you love.
This is already making me think differently about like my own goals and how I approach my career. I'm definitely curious to learn more about the rest of the steps and how they all kind of fit together.
We'll get there.
Awesome. All right.
But that's just the beginning. I mean, Woods dives into so many fascinating concepts. We've got the power of mindset, the importance of social capital. He even challenges some of the most common assumptions about education and career paths.
Okay, you've definitely piqued my interest.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear more about these mind-blowing insights and how they can help us break free from this financial matrix and, create a life of abundance and all that.
Let's dive in. So, one of the things that really surprised me was how Woods takes on the whole education system. He doesn't shy away from criticizing its flaws,
Okay.
especially, the rising costs of tuition
Yeah.
and the burden of student loan debt.
Yeah. That's a huge issue for so many people. I mean, college is supposed to be like the key to a better future,
Right.
but it often feels like it's kind of a trap
It does.
that leads to, years of financial struggle.
Yeah. And he really digs into that.
Questioning whether that traditional path of like getting a 4-year degree is really the best way to achieve financial success these days.
So is he saying that college is like a waste of time?
Not exactly. He actually encourages readers to like carefully consider
Okay.
the return on investment of a college degree, especially given, how expensive it is.
Right. You don't want to end up with like mountains of debt for a degree that doesn't even lead to a good job.
Exactly. And he highlights some alternative paths that people often overlook,
Okay.
like those skilled trades we were talking about earlier. He points out that like some electricians and plumbers
Yeah.
can earn 6-figure incomes
Wow.
without a traditional 4-year degree.
That's really eye-opening. It challenges like a lot of the assumptions that we have about, what constitutes a good job.
Exactly. Woods wants us to break free from those limiting beliefs
Yeah.
and explore all of our options. He even has a whole chapter
Okay.
dedicated to navigating the corporate world.
For those who are interested in that path.
So he's not just for like aspiring entrepreneurs or whatever.
Not at all.
Correct.
He provides guidance on how to make the most of a traditional 9-to-5 job, build valuable skills network effectively, and even use your income to fund those side ventures we were talking about.
That's a really empowering perspective. It's like he's saying you can use your current job as a stepping stone
Yeah.
to something even greater.
He has this concept of leveraging your day job,
Okay.
where you strategically use your current position to gain experience, learn new skills, make connections
Right.
that can benefit you in the long run.
So it's about playing the long game, even if you're not exactly like thrilled with your current situation.
Exactly. It's not about being stuck.
Right.
It's about using your time wisely
Okay.
and making intentional choices that move you towards your goals.
That reminds me of what he said about like reframing your relationship with time.
Yeah.
It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart and making the most of every opportunity.
And he emphasizes that, this isn't about quick fixes or like overnight success. He talks about the compound effect of consistent action,
Okay.
how small efforts repeated over time
Right.
can lead to these incredible results.
That's a powerful concept. It's like building momentum and trusting the process. Even when you don't see immediate results.
He even compares it to like planting a seed.
Okay.
You have to nurture it, you have to give it time and have faith that it will eventually grow into something amazing.
Okay, that's a great analogy. But what about those of us who struggle with, self-doubt
Yeah.
and limiting beliefs? Like, how do we overcome those inner voices that tell us, we're not good enough or that we'll never succeed?
Yeah, Woods doesn't sugarcoat it.
Okay.
He acknowledges that those negative thoughts can be really powerful,
Right.
but he also provides some strategies for dealing with them.
Okay.
He talks about the power of asking empowering questions.
Empowering questions. What's that?
So instead of saying, I can't do this,
Yeah.
ask yourself, how can I do this?
Oh, I see. It's about shifting your focus from like what you lack to
Exactly.
what you can actually do
Exactly.
to achieve your goals.
It's about turning a problem into a challenge, a roadblock, into an opportunity for growth.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so encouraging to hear that you don't have to have everything figured out
Right.
before you even begin.
He also talks about the importance of embracing failure as a learning opportunity.
Okay.
He actually encourages readers to view failure as feedback, a signal that you need to adjust your approach or learn something new.
That's a really interesting perspective. I think so many of us are afraid to even try
Right.
because we're so terrified of failing.
Yeah. Woods reframes failure as part of the process, not the opposite of success.
Okay.
He wants us to get comfortable with being uncomfortable,
Right.
stepping outside of our comfort zones and taking calculated risks.
This is really resonating with me. It seems like so much of this journey is about like personal growth,
It is.
developing resilience, and a willingness to learn from your mistakes.
Absolutely. And he even suggests this interesting exercise where you imagine living in a different era,
Oh, wow.
like 100 or 200 years ago,
Right.
without all the conveniences that we take for granted today.
Wow, that would
Yeah.
definitely be a reality check. I can't even imagine living without my smartphone,
I know, right?
let alone like indoor plumbing or electricity.
Right. And he does that to kind of point out that even with the challenges that we face today, we're actually living in the best time in history
Wow.
to achieve our goals.
Really?
We have access to more resources, more opportunities, more tools than ever before.
So he shouldn't let you know fear or limiting beliefs hold us back. We have the power to create the life we want,
We do.
even if it takes, time and effort and a whole lot of learning along the way.
He has this great line, you get what you dare to ask.
Ooh, I like that.
It's about being bold, taking risks, putting yourself out there. Even if you don't always get what you want, you'll learn something valuable in the process.
This is definitely inspiring. It's like
Yeah.
he's giving us permission to like dream big
He is.
and then go after those dreams with everything we've got.
Yeah, and he doesn't just leave you hanging.
Okay.
He provides practical tips for finding and seizing opportunities. He talks about the importance of research networking
Okay.
and being willing to step outside your comfort zone.
It sounds like this book is less about following a prescribed path and more about like creating your own unique journey to success.
He actually addresses that directly.
Okay.
He says the path to financial freedom is as unique as the individual walking it. It's about finding what works for you, leveraging your strengths, and being willing to adapt and learn along the way.
I love that it's so empowering to hear that there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
You can create your own definition of success and go after it on your own terms.
And he emphasizes that it's not just about the destination, it's about enjoying the journey. He talks about finding passion in what you do,
Okay.
celebrating small wins, and finding ways to make the process fun.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to goal setting. It's not just about like grinding it out until you reach the finish line.
Right.
It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the process itself.
He even encourages readers to develop a playful approach to their work.
Okay.
He suggests that, if you can find a way to make it fun, you'll be much more likely to stick with it and achieve your goals.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the financial matrix, the importance of reframing money and time, debunking the myth of get-rich-quick schemes, the power of consistent action, the importance of embracing failure, finding and seizing opportunities, and even challenging those traditional views on education. What else does Woods explore in this book? So it sounds like Woods is really challenging readers to think differently about everything,
He is.
from their education to their career choices,
Right.
and even their mindset. What other thought-provoking ideas does he explore?
Well, he dedicates a significant portion of the book to discussing the importance of social capital.
Okay.
He argues that it's not just about what you know, but it's also about who you know.
I've heard that phrase before, but I'm not entirely sure what it means. Can you explain it in simple terms?
So Woods defines social capital as the value that you gain from your relationships and your network.
Okay.
It's about building genuine connections with people who can support you, inspire you, and open doors to opportunities that you wouldn't have access to otherwise.
So it's not about, using people or networking just for personal gain.
Not at all. Woods emphasizes that, social capital is about building authentic relationships,
Okay.
contributing to your community,
Hmm.
and helping others succeed. He believes that when you focus on adding value to other people's lives, success naturally follows.
That's a really refreshing perspective.
Yeah.
It takes the pressure off of trying to network in a superficial way
Right.
and encourages you to really focus on building genuine connections with people.
Exactly. And he provides practical advice on how to cultivate these relationships,
Yeah.
from attending industry events to simply reaching out to people you admire and asking for, a quick chat or a coffee.
So it's about being proactive and putting yourself out there, even if it feels a little uncomfortable at first.
Yeah, he encourages readers to step outside their comfort zones
Okay.
and not be afraid to connect with people. You never know what amazing opportunities
Right.
might arise from a simple conversation.
I'm starting to see how all of these concepts, from reframing your relationship with time and money to building social capital,
Yeah.
they're all interconnected and they all contribute to this holistic approach to success.
They do.
It's not just about financial wealth, but it's also about building a fulfilling life
Right.
with strong relationships and a sense of purpose.
Absolutely. And Woods doesn't shy away from addressing the importance of personal well-being.
Okay.
He even includes practical tips for simplifying your life and reducing unnecessary expenses.
That's interesting. I wouldn't necessarily associate minimalism
Mm.
with wealth building, but I can see how it could be related.
So he argues that by living below your means and focusing on what truly matters, you free up resources that you can then invest in your future.
So it's not about deprivation. It's about making conscious choices
Well, right.
that align with your values and priorities.
Exactly. He encourages readers to examine their spending habits
Okay.
and identify areas where they can cut back without sacrificing their quality of life. So, for example, maybe you could downsize your living space,
Right.
find more affordable transportation,
Okay.
or simply be more mindful about your everyday purchases.
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
It's not about giving up everything you enjoy, but rather being more intentional about how you spend your money
Right.
and your time.
And he reminds us that even though we live in a system that can sometimes feel, designed to keep us stuck,
Right.
we still have the power to choose our own path.
That's so empowering. It's like he's saying, okay, the system might have its flaws, but you're not powerless. You still have choices, and you can still create the life that you want.
Exactly. He wraps up the book with this powerful message about the importance of loving the journey. He emphasizes that the path to financial independence shouldn't feel like a constant struggle
Okay.
or a sacrifice.
That's a beautiful sentiment. It's about finding ways to enjoy the process and celebrate those small wins along the way.
It is. He encourages readers to, find passion in their work, cultivate gratitude for what they have,
Yeah.
and surround themselves with a supportive community.
This whole conversation has been such an eye-opener. It's challenged me to think differently about wealth building, success, and what it truly means to live a fulfilling life.
What I find so compelling about Wood's approach is that he doesn't offer like a magic formula
Right.
or a one-size-fits-all solution. He provides a framework, a set of principles and strategies that you can then adapt
Okay.
to your own unique circumstances and goals.
It's like he's giving you the tools and the guidance, but then it's up to you to create your own masterpiece.
Exactly. And that's what makes the path of the young millionaire so powerful. It's not just about becoming a millionaire.
Right.
It's about becoming the best version of yourself and living a life that's aligned with your values and aspirations.
I have a feeling our listeners probably itching to get their hands on this book now.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's packed with insights, practical advice,
Right.
and thought-provoking questions that can really help you level up your financial game
Right.
and create a life that you love.
So to our listener, if you're ready to challenge conventional wisdom, explore alternative paths to success, and embark on a journey of personal and financial transformation, I highly recommend checking out The Path of the Young Millionaire by Michael Woods.
And remember, the path to financial freedom might not always be easy, but it's definitely worth it.
It is.
Who knows? You might even discover that you enjoy the journey as much as the destination.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep learning, and keep striving for that extraordinary life that's waiting for you.